Hello, welcome to our RecapPlus channel with me, Matthew. Today we will watch a recap movie called Mosa, released in 2021. This is a spoiler content video. So please turn on the subtitle and let's start the story. The film commences with a flashback, recounting the story of Yaya, a college student. Fairs, a lecturer and the head of the prestigious robotics department, tasked him with solving a problem after catching him conversing with his friend Rika during class. The problem proved trivial for Yaya, prompting him to provide an alternative solution different from what was taught. Yaya also remarked that Fair's formula was outdated and that his solution was much more efficient. Fairs, feeling hurt and embarrassed, promptly dismissed Yaya from the class, labeling him an idiot. Yaya, like many geniuses, possesses an introverted disposition, preferring solitude and becoming an easy target for bullies among his fellow students. His father, Soleil, a retired engineer now working as a watchmaker, is a significant figure in his life, as his mother passed away long ago. One evening, Nasser, the husband of Sulma, who worked as a housemaid in Soleil's home, visited the house. Soleil promptly sent him away due to Nasser's history of domestic violence against Sulma. Sulma had previously sought protection from her parents. Nasser left the house, his anger barely concealed. Following this incident, Yaya introduced his father to the warehouse within their home, where he conducted his research. There, he unveiled his invention, Mosa, a highly advanced robot. Yaya named the robot after his brother, who had passed away in infancy. Mosa had been programmed and could only be controlled by Yaya through a virtual reality, VR, interface connected to his spinal cord. Surprisingly, Soleil perceived the robot as nothing more than a child's toy. Shortly after, while they were spending a leisurely moment together, Nasser returned to the house, accompanied by an associate and carrying a gun. Nasser's motive was to exact revenge for his previous encounters with Soleil. A violent confrontation ensued, resulting in Soleil being severely beaten, the theft of the watches he had crafted, and the arson of their home. During this terrifying ordeal, a fearful Yaya could only hide in the kitchen, clutching a knife. He lacked the courage to come to his father's aid, who was inside their burning house. Eventually, the police and firefighters arrived, but it was too late to save Soleil. After the visit to his father's gravesite, Yaya contemplated selling the house, except the warehouse where he conducted his research. He initially reported the incident to the police but withdrew his intentions due to Nasser's menacing presence, fearing for his life. From that moment on, Yaya was resolute in seeking an alternative means of revenge. Yaya embarked on a mission to construct a colossal Mosa robot, utilizing the inheritance left by his father. He spent several days secluded in the warehouse, dedicated to building the robot. After an extensive process, he successfully completed Mosa. His next step was to track down Nasser and his gang, eventually locating their base in an abandoned building. With great determination, Yaya revealed himself briefly before finding a concealed vantage point. Nasser subsequently ordered his henchmen to locate him, but they struggled to uncover his hiding place. Elsewhere, Yaya activated his VR system and unleashed the Mosa robot, concealed beneath his car. In a matter of moments, the robot effortlessly dispatched two of Nasser's associates. Nasser's fate soon caught up with him. Realizing the sheer power of the Mosa robot, Nasser attempted to flee, but his escape was futile. Mosa swiftly subdued him with a wooden strike, rendering him unconscious. Yaya then locked Nasser inside a car and ordered Mosa to exact revenge on him in the same manner Nasser had killed his father. The entire incident was inadvertently recorded by a passing by driver and quickly went viral on YouTube, amassing hundreds of millions of views. The video rapidly spread across various social media platforms and news outlets. Meanwhile, the Egyptian government viewed the case with great concern due to the potential threat posed by the robot, which could endanger human lives. A high-level meeting was convened, and attended by military officials and government authorities. Dr. Fairs, the head of the robotics department, was tasked with conducting an investigation. Back at his warehouse, Yaya received a mysterious message from someone known as X, claiming to be an old friend who was aware of Mosa's creation. X offered to assist Yaya if needed. Shortly thereafter, Rika visited Yaya. She had stumbled upon Yaya's sketchbook left behind in a classroom, containing sketches of the Mosa robot's design. Rika had already deduced that Yaya was the robot's creator. Yaya, trusting Rika, revealed the hidden Mosa robot, concealed behind a storeroom accessible only through a secret locked door. Rika inquired whether the robot was created solely to avenge his father's death, to which Yaya responded that his intentions extended beyond personal revenge. He aimed to avenge the world, targeting criminals who had caused widespread harm. Yaya had received the next target's address from X. The location was the headquarters of weapons and drug dealers, as well as kidnappers of children, who were harvesting organs to sell to the wealthy. Yaya and Rika wasted no time and proceeded to the designated address, unleashing Mosa to eliminate the criminals. The formidable gang, armed with various firearms, made it challenging for Yaya to control Mosa. Despite suffering hits and explosions, Yaya and Mosa persevered and ultimately vanquished the adversaries. Yaya successfully rescued the kidnapped children. Once again, the government was alerted to the incident, prompting them to mobilize a team to investigate the kidnapping scene. Mosa, under mysterious control, eliminated 20 high-profile criminals, some of whom were executed by the robot. The identity and motives of the person behind Mosa's actions remained a source of intrigue for the public. In the subsequent days, Yaya continued to employ his robot in the fight against crime, assisting the police by intercepting fleeing vehicles, apprehending armed groups, and rescuing individuals, particularly children, from fires and accidents. Mosa's remarkable deeds led the people of Egypt to revere him as a hero and an icon. Meanwhile, at his home, Fairs diligently gathered facts related to the robot's operations, such as its height, remote controllability, and the use of a car for transport during missions. He devised a device capable of remotely disabling Mosa's power. At Yaya's new base in Rika's house, a girl named Miriam paid him a visit. Yaya had harbored feelings for Miriam for a long time, though his introverted nature had kept him from approaching her. However, Miriam's revelation that Yaya was the operator of the Mosa robot didn't inspire admiration. She believed his actions were an inadequate solution to dealing with crime and would endanger his life. Ironically, Miriam's feelings for Yaya had transformed from affection to resentment, leading her to walk away. Simultaneously, Fairs and his investigative team successfully traced the car that had belonged to Yaya's father, Saleh. They launched an operation to search his house and apprehended both Yaya and Saleh. Yaya, when questioned by Fairs, feigned ignorance of Mosa, as there was no concrete evidence or record of the robot at his father's residence. Shortly afterward, a lawyer arrived to assist Yaya and oversee the interrogation. Given the lack of evidence and Yaya's clean criminal record, he was released. However, unbeknownst to Yaya, Fairs and his team had covertly planted microphones in Saleh's house. In the evening, Yusuf, Fairs' son, suddenly fell ill, afflicted with a severe, incurable disease that Egyptian doctors were ill-equipped to treat. The doctors recommended an expensive surgery in Germany, which was estimated to cost $3 billion. Lacking the financial means, Fairs sought the best available treatment for his son. Fairs subsequently met Samir, the head of the investigative team pursuing the Mosa robot case, who happened to be Miriam's father. Fairs initiated negotiations with Samir, well aware of his desire to acquire Mosa. He offered to promptly apprehend the robot's operator, Yaya, in exchange for financial assistance to cover his son's medical expenses in Germany. Fairs set his plan into motion. He arranged for some of his men to simulate a train hijacking, recorded the incident, and disseminated the video as bait to provoke Yaya into deploying his Mosa robot. The strategy proved successful. In the usual manner, Yaya asked Rika to drive while he remotely controlled Mosa. As the train car's lock was released, Mosa approached its target, but Fairs operatives promptly activated the device to deactivate the robot's power. Without delay, Fairs' men swiftly began dismantling Mosa's robotic components. Luckily, a young boy, a fervent admirer of Mosa, grabbed the deactivation device, enabling Mosa to reactivate. 3 of Fairs' operatives were overpowered, and all passengers were evacuated to a safe carriage. Nevertheless, a tragic incident unfolded as a machinist and a passenger lost their lives during the encounter. Upon returning home, Yaya discovered a CD, which, upon playing, revealed a video depicting Miriam's abduction. Fairs orchestrated this act to force Yaya to confront him if he wished to secure Miriam's release. Yaya sought out Miriam's father, Samir, who was taken aback by the audacity of Fairs' actions. To prevent further bloodshed and casualties, similar to the prior train incident, Yaya chose to record a video confession, publicly admitting that he was the creator of the Mosa robot. He offered apologies for the turmoil he had caused and disclosed his home address. The narrative then returns to the film's opening scene, as Special Forces operatives converge on Yaya's residence. Yaya indeed intends to dismantle Mosa, after which he plans to confront Fairs. Upon arriving at the location, Fairs' men promptly arrested Yaya. Fairs, upon hearing Yaya's accounts, grew agitated, as Yaya's actions were driven by his aspiration to serve as a role model for young people and to change the world. Shortly thereafter, Fairs received news that the Mosa robot had been destroyed. Miriam was ultimately released in exchange for Yaya's promise to furnish Fairs with the blueprint for the Mosa robot. However, Yaya's pledge was a ruse to buy time. X and his associates from the dark web arrived on the scene, incapacitating Fairs' men with sleeping gas. The dark web members proceeded to disable the electricity and plant explosives throughout the building. Fares, cognizant of Yaya and his group's involvement, managed to evade capture. Unfortunately, Yaya couldn't simply flee, as two of Fares' men continued to pursue him. Yaya swiftly erased the wall drawing depicting Mosa's design. Confronting the grim reality that he would likely perish in the impending explosion, Yaya called Miriam to convey his feelings, professing his deep love for her. In line with Yaya's instructions, Rika escorted Miriam away from the chaotic scene. Yaya also left a heartfelt letter for Miriam, containing his final messages, entreating her to take good care of herself and emphasizing the importance of good people not remaining silent. Elsewhere, Fares was ultimately apprehended for his unauthorized actions, which resulted in harm to many people, the deaths of civilians, and even the kidnapping of his boss's daughter. The movie concludes with a scene depicting Yaya still alive, saved by X, his friend from the dark web. Meanwhile, at the explosion site, a mysterious figure in a hoodie discovers Mosa's robot core machine part. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. You can also click on the videos on your screen to watch more interesting videos. And please share your thoughts about today's video in the comments down below. Lastly, always remember to stay safe and stay healthy. See you in the next video.